Hello friends, today we are going to spend a little bit of time in the shade garden underneath the Forest Pansy behind me. I wanted to take you on a little garden tour of this space because it is growing and developing so nicely here in the middle of June. And my main goal for this afternoon is to get some annual color in there. I've got some gorgeous Caladiums, I've got Broalia, I've got a couple of the Rockapupo double impatiens that desperately need to get in the ground. And this space behind me is the perfect place to put those shade-loving annuals. I even have a Pegasus begonia. If I can find somewhere that needs a little bit of a fun, funky texture plant, I'm going to stick that in there too as well. So I thought it would be fun to kind of go through here and give you an update on this bed. The space that we are going to be working on to this afternoon is that to the right, underneath this absolutely gorgeous Forest Pansy red bud. So it is a red bud. It is called a Forest Pansy. Massive. We got it when I was pregnant with Jackson, so he is 12, so it gives you an idea of how old this plant is. And as it has grown, it has given me this luscious, beautiful shade garden. And you can see here that we have got those Caladiums and those plants that I just talked about that I want to use. I see some hummingbirds off in the distance that are fighting with one another. I love it. Love this time of year. Then here to the left is what I call the Gatsby Gal bed, because it does have a Gatsby Gal hydrangea in it, but it is definitely a full sun flower bed. It is probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon right now, and it is in the full sun. If you remember just the other day, we were making mixed containers with mangaves, so I decided to put this little fella right here because full hot sun will do really well. And you can see the daisy mays are just doing great. Those are 3 plants right there. Really happy, really full. It's almost a time for me to start going in and doing a little bit of deadheading, cleaning up. And then my Sweet Romance lavender is doing quite nicely. It has been holding these blooms for quite a while now. There's a nice bumblebee right there. And then popping up behind that is the Meteor Shower Verbena. I am just loving this flower bed. The grasses are coming along quite nicely. Now, what I know I need to do in here is Scentlandia. So I have some Scentlandia right here, a Sweet Spire. It is time to clean it up. It needs to be pruned. It does bloom on old growth, so now's the perfect time to do it. But you can see right there, there's old Gatsby Gal. Look at her. Isn't she beautiful? She is covered in tons of flowers. Again, now I know it's full sun right now, so it might be a little harsh on the eye, but then right over here to the left of her is a Limelight Prime with its first little flower bud. Oh, so exciting. Very, very fun, and everything else is doing very nicely. My Banana Cream 2s are coming in, starting to bloom. Very happy with them and how well they are doing. So everybody is doing great on the sun side. Now we're gonna slowly move on over here to the shade garden, which I'm very happy about getting into because, here we are in the middle of June, and yeah, it's a little toasty. Jenny's getting a little glistening. But in this flower bed, we have a lot of fun perennials. I have talked about this many times before, that in this flower bed, there's not, quote, a rhyme or reason. There is, but as far as like picking plants, I just have a lot of fun. So I have a petite oak leaf hydrangea. This is Munchkin. I have several different varieties of dark astilbe in here. I do have a couple of small hydrangeas. That's Let's Dance Blue Jangles. There's 3 of them dotted out through here. Tons of hostas, especially in the back. Broalia, ferns, grasses, the Ascot Rainbow Euphorbia. Look how well this container is doing. You remember that we planted that. It's in the unique stone hummingbird trough. Very, very happy container, doing really well right now. And then as we move to this other side of the flower bed, it does get a bit more sun. So we're gonna go through the roses. Here we go. So this gets hot afternoon sun over here. So you can see I have a little bit more sun-loving plants, my balloon flowers. This is my first year growing balloon flowers, and man, I am so excited about these. Look how beautiful they are. Just such a fun little plant. There are 3 in this bed total. There's 1 right behind it. There's a surefire begonia. But all sorts of fun things in here. But this is the bed that we're gonna pop some annual color in. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go set the camera up. I'm gonna place my plants because I don't know exactly where I wanna put them. I have 2 different caladiums that are both more shade loving, so this is a perfect place for them. That Broalia will give me a nice, really pretty blue flower, which will actually echo my balloon flower quite nicely, but in the shade. And then I think I have 3 or 4 of the Rocapuco, the double impatient, and it's the purple. So I'm going to kind of space them out so that I have some nice even coverage of color, because there's lots of different shades of green in here. I want a little pizzazz, a little pop of color. Caladiums, this is the perfect time of year to put caladiums in your garden, whether it is sun or shade. Today we just happen to be working in the shade. These are shade loving caladiums, but we definitely have a huge assortment of caladiums that do love the sun. Last year I put some right here and they did great. So I'm gonna set the camera up and then we are going to figure out where we're gonna put these plants and then get them in the ground. Stay tuned. All right, my friends, so this quick and easy project for the day is done. I got the caladiums in and I got all the other sweet little annuals in there. So let me flip the camera around. Let me just kind of show you, flipping the camera around, showing you what I did. And I see I left a Proven Winners pot over there. We'll have to get that. So the caladiums that I used, this is Snowdrift, and Snowdrift is just a beautiful white caladium with nice dark green veining, and it will be a beautiful shape and size to it. I thought it was a nice little complement to the Brunnera that's right behind it, and it should get some nice little height on it and get nice and full and just do really nice here. So I think there's like 5 of those tucked through here. Then back here we have, for kind of the red pinkish, we have the Splash of Wine. And Splash of Wine I've talked about a couple of times. Really like that. A little bit of white with the flecks in it. Hopefully that's showing up on the camera okay. Again, it's now near some nice blue hostas. I believe this is Big Daddy right here. Also in front of the Summon Substance, next to another Brunnera and some Lenten roses. And then we've got, they're a little sad looking, I'm not gonna lie, I know that. It is the Rocapuco Double Impatient, and this is purple. They have been sitting in those cans for way too long. They're gonna be so happy to be out of there, and they're just going to explode and get nice and full, be really pretty beside the ferns and the Lenten roses. And then moving on down, let me show you another section. I've talked about this before. Whenever you want to kind of bulk up an area, don't be afraid to plant 2 of the exact same plant in the hole. I actually put 2 of the Splash of Wine right here So it will fill in this space between the perennial grass. This is another of the Let's Dance Blue Jangles, and then my Farfugium back here, which is a great classic shade perennial, but this will get a nice little size to it. Got another one of the Rocapucos, and then my Broalia. This is one of my all-time favorite shade annuals. I noticed that we were running low at the nursery, and this was like well over a month ago. So I grabbed a tray because I have to have this in my shade garden, and I'm so glad I did because we sold out. We don't have any more. So if you want some, make a list or order it online from somebody. But this is just such a wonderful, this is the Endless Illumination Broalia. Just a rock star performer, does great. And then down here, we put the Pegasus next to another one of the Broalias. Then we have a Jack in the Pulpit. So if you're not familiar with Jack in the Pulpit, I'm walking very gingerly right through here, folks. So the Broalia next to the Jack in the Pulpit, fantastic, classic perennial. Again, my mama got this for me at a plant sale. Huge Jack in the Pulpit, so it is doing well. I just noticed those two Caladiums back there. Forgot to get those in the ground, so we'll do that. But yeah, it's just everything is coming in really nicely and just looking fantastic as the season progresses. There is one more plant that I want to show you before we move on for the day, because this is a fantastic trial plant that our friends from Walter's Gardens sent us. Really fun. We actually saw it in their trial gardens when we went to go visit last year, and then they sent us some this year to trial. So fun, so exciting. Pitcher plants. You ever heard of a pitcher plant? Really cool. Let me show you. Okay, so here we have two different pitcher plants. I have them in a pottery piece that my mama is letting me use. It actually has a crack in the bottom, but it is a slow leak, so it holds the water really well. Pitcher plants, if you don't know, are a bog plant. They are native to at least this part of the country that I know of, in really wet areas. And they're called pitcher plants because when it rains, they catch the water with their little upturned spouts. Let's see if we can see this one. So it has the little opening right here, and then the tubes, the stems are hollow, and the water catches them. So it is a pitcher, like a water pitcher. So we have two different varieties in here. We have Conversation Piece and Bug Bat. I do not remember which one's Bug Bat and which one's Conversation Piece. I have them, Walters gave some instructions and said they'd like to be planted in straight peat. So I ordered some online, planted. My mama gave me some moss from her yard. I kind of tucked that in to help hold in the moisture. I water them quite regularly to keep this nice and damp, and man, look at that. Look how great they're looking. So this is really fun. We'll keep you updated on how these guys do. This would definitely be kind of a specialty piece, but they are lots of fun, really cool little plants. Just, you know, plants are supposed to be fun, people. This is supposed to be enjoyable. Speaking of enjoyable, I have had an enjoyable afternoon. I have gotten part of my collection of plants in the ground, which makes me feel really good because I think a lot of gardeners are the same. You kind of collect plants and you're like, I'm not really sure where they're gonna go. I'll figure that out later, and then the next thing you know, you're kind of overrun with plants. I was in that spot, and I just needed to get them in the ground. So it feels really good to have these out of the driveway area and into the ground where they can grow, bloom, and thrive and be so happy. And now it is afternoon coffee time, so I am ready to go do that. But yeah, okay, I got one more thing to show you. I know, I'm sorry, this drives Jerry crazy, but I have to show you this. Look at this spectacular display of plants. Oh my goodness. Okay, so of course, here's the patio, right? This is the pocket of the lantana and the pentas that I planted earlier in the season. My gardenias are blooming and they are glorious. This is by far my favorite flower in the whole wide world. gardenias, and I'm a bit of a snob. I like the double bloom. This is the Chuck Haze gardenia. It is the best one that we have found that grows really well for us. I don't currently have any for sale here at the nursery, but they are just spectacular. I have 4 of them, and then look at those incredible hydrangeas. Are they not just unbelievable? Absolutely incredible. Wonderful, glorious, beautiful hydrangeas, just spectacular. Massive blooms on them. If you look at my hand, just huge. Fantastic. I just had to show them to you because, whoo-wee, they are so pretty. There's one in the middle that looks a little sad. I'm not sure if that's Brenna's pathway. We'll figure it out. But anyway, friends, just had to show you that. I really am gonna sign off now. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.